Hello again, Michael Friedberg here from beautiful North Carolina, and today I have two products for review. The first is a soap from France, Le Père Lucien. This is the Traditionnel, the traditional scent. It is the small container, so this comes in two sizes. This is the just under 100 grams, the small travel size, let's put it that way, in a metal tin. It is packed to the brim normally. As you can see, I've been using this throughout the week. I've made only a tiny dent in the soap. The scent on this Traditionnel, the traditional, which is an all vegan soap and a very simple list of ingredients, is, well, what they describe as kind of the scent of Provence in France, and it is a beautiful herbaceous scent. It's lavender and thyme and sage. There's eucalyptus in there. I believe there's 10 scents total. Some essential oils, supposed to be a bit astringent and antiseptic. Just a beautiful vegetal scent. Just, I would say lightly scented. It is a pretty hard soap. It is not a hard pucker soap, but in the scheme of things, it's a hard soap, not triple milled. The recommendation from the manufacturer is to leave these sit out uncovered. That way you sort of get the scent of the soap in the bathroom, but it also lets it dry out and just continues to cure. I've done this for like the last month or so, maybe. No real loss of scent. It is mildly scented. It is not a strong scent, but it is a very kind of a delicious herbaceous scent. Very, very nice. Today's razor is going to be a new long comb. I will just show you the top cap, which has, as you can see, as always in the four corners, the tabs for holding the blade. Today's blade was sent to me as part of a blade order that I placed. This came extra in it. There was a 10-pack of the Lord stainless steel. These are Egyptian blades. I've not used these in quite a long time. This is the wrapper that it comes in, which of course just fell right into the sink. All right, then for the base plate, which as you can see is a long tooth open comb, the way that the base plate is constructed, it has that ridge up into the hole for the post. Now with the washer, I've had to cut the washer down straight on either side so that it will actually fit in between, because otherwise it prevents the handle from screwing down all the way. Because the handle I'm using today is an add-on. I only have the long comb head. I don't have a handle that goes with it. So I have received, and this was a separate item I received from Jason Rudman, an all brass handle from West Coast Shaving that he was not going to be using. So he's passed it on to me. And that is a surprisingly good fit, both look and feel, for this new long comb. You can see, I think that looks really good actually. That's a very nice fit given the sort of the aging and the patina on the razor and the all brass handle. Very, very nice. Okay, let me wet my face again and start lathering up. Today's brush is going to be the Rod Neep Badger, the olive wood hourglass handle. What I've been doing all week is mostly dry loading. I did one or two sort of more on the wet side, but I think I prefer the dry brush in this case and just adding a bit. So I'm just going to shake out most of the water and then dip the tips. You can hear how much water is still coming out of that. Now, this is a smaller container, so when you do begin to lather this, and it does lather and it's going to start making suds, you cannot do this without making a bit of a mess. It just really isn't possible. But what you can do is, if you don't really like that, is hold it upside down. It minimizes the mess, but it doesn't really reduce it. You're going to get lather build up on the sides. There's just no way around it. The container is completely packed with soap, and there's just no way to load the brush without a bit of a mess. But who cares? Now, I can definitely see that if you wanted to use this, you could just scoop all this soap out of a container and place it into a larger, more shallow bowl if you really are bothered by the potential mess you might make. But scheme of things, really not bad. Now, I know this is one of those vaunted soaps, and disregard the hairs that this brush is losing. As many of you know, this is a brush that's slowly, that knot is something, I just did something stupid to it, but I'm going to continue to use it. I'm just continuing to load. You can see the lather that's building up on the side already. I'm going to load heavy, but this is one of those French style soaps where you'd only need to touch the bristles of the brush for maybe a second or two to create a lather good for 6, 7, maybe 8 passes. That's not really exactly true, but I have loaded pretty heavy. You don't really need that much soap to get a very nice lather. You will not get a lather that is huge and voluminous in volume. That's redundant, but what you do get is a very nice, creamy, slick lather. This is going to start off too dry. Yeah, there's water coming out of the brush. Very, very simple set of ingredients. This is just a straight 100% vegetal soap. That's starting to build a nice lather, but it is definitely still too dry, so let's get that worked up a little bit and add a bit of water. I'm going to pull some of the soap from the bottom of the brush. A very nice little metal container, which I think obviously given the travel size makes a pretty good choice just to throw that in your bag, and the metal lid does fit on there with quite a tight fit, so that's a nice plus. All right, that is looking pretty good, but I think still needs a touch of water. Let me just put some on the brush there and pull some of this extra lather off. And just work that water in nice and gentle. There we go. Yeah, that scent is very well done. A very kind of peaceful, relaxing herbal scent. Not a cologne style scent at all. This is just and I think the word peaceful is kind of a very nice way to put it actually. All right, the new long comb. First pass with the grain. So these this week have been pretty good passes, I gotta say. With the grain, not much of a problem. This is of course, as always, 2 days worth of growth. It's a nice heavy handle. Easy to hold, and I think that design will look familiar. There's a number of other handles on the market that are very similar in design with the cutouts for your fingers there. Yeah, the soap is just a very simple, very easy to use, slick protective soap. Definitely very different than the Italian style soaps. It's hard to put your finger on it exactly, but definitely noticeably different. Something about the face feel of the soap. Can't really put it into words. Now, first pass pretty good, but I know I left you hanging there, but not that comfortable. And in fact, it sort of goes downhill from here for me. So I love the look of that razor. And obviously it's really fun to shave with something that is as old as that razor is. You know, it still works very well. It's still in very good shape. I think it still has decades and decades of use in it, obviously. Lathering up for the across the grain. Plenty of soap in the brush still. Yeah, this is just very, very nice soap. Focus on you know, for this kind of soap, what I think here is a real focus on the sort of the quality that comes from real simplicity in a way. Keep it simple, make it as best you can. Same goes for the scent. The scent is not an overpowering, odd mix of sort of conflicting herbal scents. It is just a really nice collection of, you know, local scents, local to them, obviously. Okay, this is the across the grain. The soap may seem a little bit thin, but very nice, slick lather. Across the grain is good in parts, but a little less comfortable than the with the grain pass. I've not had great experience with Lord blades in the past, but this is actually done very well. Looking forward to trying it in some other razors. Yeah, and if there's going to be trouble, this is where it's going to start for me. Right in there is where it tends to go wrong. And it is just, it's doing the job, but just, I can feel it starting to slide from shaving comfortably to now having to actually work against it a little bit. Yeah, as you can see, there's really no tugging, there's no resistance. The soap is really doing an excellent job here. It's just something about the comfort level of that razor, the head design. It's definitely working, but this is not one of those shaves where the razor itself is bringing a smile to my face. Okay, I have an enormous amount of water dripping down my hand, so I'm trying to prevent that from dripping down my arm. I am going to likely reload a bit of soap after I put this, what's left in the brush. All right, I'm going to dip the tips of the brush just a little bit and just load a little bit more soap. You can see what's happening. Really just pulling off a very small layer. I think that soap would last you a good long time, even with daily shaves. And when I'm done with it every day, I'll show you what I do. I tend to hold it upside down and just rinse it. Rinse the bottom. That rinses all the soap off it, but doesn't get any soap, any of the water on the soap. God, yeah, man, this is just a beautiful scent. Very, very nice leather. As you can see, sort of dense and yogurty, but not overly fatty. I've been looking forward to using this soap for quite a while, but it kept getting bumped by other things. There's new soaps that came in. This is one of the ones I purchased overseas. Okay, rinse off my hand. Well, let's go for the against the grain pass. And you may already be thinking this is where it's going to go wrong, and in fact, you would be right. Man, soap, just beautiful. Really, really nice. So far, so good. And now, left turn, here we go. That part just not comfortable. Nope. Not for me. Almost done. Number of times this week where I would normally, in the third pass, I would do a bit of buffing. As you could see, kind of started there, but stopped and moved on to sort of longer, straighter single strokes. I would stop, no buffing, just single strokes underneath here, and then relather for a quick fourth touch-up pass, just because buffing under there is just, it's immediately uncomfortable. I could already feel just a bit of sort of heat and irritation, and that's because I'm sort of pressing it a little bit, but there's really no need for that, and I'm just gonna stop right there. So yeah, that razor, 2 out of 3 passes, pretty good, but that's simply really not good enough. All right, let me rinse off. Soap is very slick when rinsed, but also rinses off, in the scheme of things, pretty quickly. This is not one of those soaps that's really hard to rinse off. It comes off pretty quickly. There we go. Post-shave is good. Skin feels not like overly moisturized. I mean, it is a very simple soap. There's nothing extra in there to help with a layer of extra fattiness. And it may well be that some of the essential oils that are chosen to be included in the soap help a bit with sort of tightness, maybe antiseptic a little bit. I don't know. Even if that wasn't the case, it really wouldn't matter, because the soap in and of itself really quite nice, and the scent is just lovely. Yep. So I would say a little tight and maybe a little dry compared to some of the other soaps I've used. Obviously, many of the newer artisan soaps are very heavily fatted. There's a lot of extra fats in there, and that sort of helps with the post-shave skin conditioning. So for this week, what I've been doing is I have been following that up with only an aftershave balm and not a aftershave splash. Now, overall, that is still a pretty good close shave, but it is not a comfortable shave, and there is definitely a little bit of heat and a bit of discomfort there, and also I've had a couple spots under on my mustache area. Not great. All right, I'm going to tip a little bit of this in. This is, as you probably remember from the last time, a very liquidy aftershave balm. It has aloe vera in it, and I think glycerin as well. So it makes for a kind of a very slick feel to it. It does feel very, very good going on. This is another woodsy outdoor scent, which actually goes very well as a follow-up to the Père Lucien, the Traditionnel. There we go. Just work that in. I always, when I work in these aftershave balms, I only ever really work them in sort of in the direction of the hair growth. Try not to rub too hard against the growth at all if I can avoid it. There we go. This is one of the balms for those of you who are keeping score at home, where I do absolutely rinse my hands. This leaves kind of a slick layer on the thicker skin of your hands, and so I always rinse and just towel it off afterwards. All right, well, unscathed, which has certainly been true this week. No nicks, no cuts, no weepers, nothing like that. So in the scheme of things, in that sense, pretty good shaves, but not great shaves. All right, let's talk about the products from today's shave. Not bad, not fantastic, but that's really down to the razor, because the soap is really, really, really good. Le Père Lucien. I completely understand why people love this soap. It is a very simple set of ingredients. This particular scent, which is on the lighter side, is beautiful, herbaceous, nice vegetal scent to it. I think it's kind of calming and peaceful the way the scent builds. It is, as you can see, just small container, metal tin, great for travel. What I've been doing is, as you can see, there's soap. So what I do is I would actually hold this under the water like that. Just let the water clean it, just tip it a little bit, and when you do that, the surface of the soap does not get wet. So I would just leave it uncovered exactly like that, let it sit and dry overnight. What I'll do is I'll rinse it off after the shave. I'll just put it away and just let it air out and let it continue to sit there uncovered. Yeah, very, very nice, beautiful all vegetable soap. Highly recommended. If you haven't tried it yet, I would say absolutely go ahead and go for it. I don't think it's a cheap soap, but I think absolutely worth the money. Today's razor is an amalgamation of pieces, so it's the all brass handle from West Coast Shaving, thanks to Jason Rudman. The head is the new long comb with a Lord stainless blade in there. I love the look of this razor. That sort of makes it all look cool and old and patina, and kind of a mix of new and old. But frankly, that is not a comfortable shave. Now, of course, if that was my only razor, of course I would shave with it. But the fact of the matter is, it's not. And so that will probably see infrequent use at best, because first two passes okay, third pass just not comfortable enough to really ever really want to reach for it. So it goes. Not every razor works for everybody, and that's the beautiful thing about this, is that you have so many options to choose from. That razor doesn't work for you unless you're somehow stuck and it's the only one you can possibly lay your hands on, then obviously make do, but if it's not, move on to the next one. All right, closing out the shave with Midnight and 2. This is the Cabin, a very nice aftershave balm. You can use this as a skin conditioner as well. It is very liquid, so if you don't like those kind of very kind of milky, and if you don't like the ones that have like a real sort of glycerin or aloe vera feel to it, I would not use that. But if those two things are fine for you, then absolutely go ahead and check them out. Overall, a very nice range of products. Oh, let's not forget, there was another superstar in the shave, the Rod Neep olive wood handle. This is the miniature badger. A lovely brush, which unfortunately continues to shed a few hairs here and there every shave, but no matter, life goes on. Well, that's it, everybody. I'm going to say goodbye again. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate the time you're taking to watch these videos. I hope you found that review useful. If you have questions or you just have a comment, please, of course, as always, feel free to post it against this video or any previous videos. And thank you again so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.